Get on this computer. Okay, we are recording. So thank you all for being here and tuning in on time. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for showing up for yourself tonight. People coming in. Becky, can I make you the co-host?
Yes.
Okay. Then I don't get distracted with people. Make co-host. Sweet. Thank you. Okay, so I am wanted to put together this special Zoom for people that are either new or people that are wanting to launch their business or maybe relaunch their business. As it's been a couple of months since some of us have been in since the very beginning of December, and we've added throughout, and then obviously we're getting ready to launch in just shy of 2 weeks now. So we want to get things rolling. And I know I spoke a little bit about it on the last Thursday, the April 1st thing, that I feel like I'm in this big spotlight right now because I just rank advanced, promoted to vice president because of all of you amazing ladies helping as a team. And I am, just so I know, what does it say? Oh, I'm driving. I feel it's important people know that I didn't reach this rank because I've had massive success in this industry before. I reached this rank because I did what I did, and I want to share that with you guys and help everybody, and just know that you don't have to be some massive recruiter or some big influencer or somebody who's seen success before. Yes, I've said before, and I've dabbled in the industry, so I'm not brand new to it, but I've never seen success like this. And so I want to share why and what I did, because I think that's important to hear those tangible tips from the very beginning versus just hearing it from people that are like pro and have been pro, and you're hearing what they're doing now and you're like, okay, but how do I get there? So this is kind of what I'm going to try to do with you guys tonight and of this recording. And even as I keep going and people are asking me questions, that's my mission, is to try to be like, I hate to say like the underdog trainer, but to teach people how to get here versus what to do now that you're here. Does that make sense? So a couple of things, and this probably isn't going to be in any particular like chronological order because I think it's all important and you just need to figure out for yourself the priority in your timeline. But I will say a big mindset is a big thing. So getting yourself into some personal development books is huge. And I will say it's hard to find that balance of life. And if you have a full-time job already or a part-time job, even your family, your business, and finding time to read a book. But I will say, and this may not be for everybody, but I don't know when the last time I sat down and watched Netflix or a show. If TV is on at our house, it's usually like sports playing in the background and my husband's watching it, or like late at night when I finally go to bed, my husband's watching a series on TV and I pass out. That's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, for myself, I wanted to pour into myself to make this happen. So any of that free time I had, it was reading a personal development book because I wanted to build myself, because I think pouring that belief and confidence into yourself is a huge, huge game changer. And I've said this before too, but I almost got to the point where I had to lie to myself. You hear people talk about like manifesting your dreams, pouring belief into yourself. So I was obviously telling myself, even most recently, I'm a vice president, before I was a vice president. Obviously, I told myself that all month, and it didn't happen until March 30th that I actually hit that goal. But even before that, it was, I attract top leaders. I am a brand partner magnet. I'm a money magnet, which that one I don't say as much because I just feel like that sounds greedy. But I'm in this, probably really sounds silly, but I've learned recently that I think even my life story is because internally I've had these thoughts. Like even growing up, I always just pictured myself being married young and having kids, and I never like figured out how or why that would happen, but somehow that just happened. And I think now that's because I always just, that was the story in my head, was that's what was going to happen. So manifesting, if you will, is really powerful. Just telling yourself that that's going to happen. Plugging in, obviously kudos to everybody on this call right now. You plugged in. There was a call offered specifically for you and you got on it. That is huge. That is something in my previous companies I didn't do very much of because it was like a mass invite and it was like, well, am I really invited? Am I really supposed to be on the call? And then if I'm on the call, what do I wear? So I wouldn't get on it at all. Well, if that's something you're afraid of, just turn your video off, mute yourself, and get on the dang call to hear what they're going to say. Um, Even if you're busy, like Heather commented and said, I'm driving, just FYI, that's fine. Plug it in, put yourself on mute. She has her video on. We can kind of see her beautiful face, but just get on the call and listen to what somebody has to share because you never know what kind of nuggets you'll pick up. Um, and that might be like the one biggest difference was because, like I said, in the other companies, I didn't plug in, I didn't stay connected. Granted, the different companies were different models and leadership. We didn't have what we have now. I didn't have people pouring into me on all levels and wanting to help me. It was just like, you need to go sell these things and post this and you'll make money. And I won't get into that. I'm trying to read my notes quick. This one. You guys have seen my stories lately, probably. And I don't do it every day, but one, let me backtrack. My story on whether you build on Instagram and or Facebook, it's always live. I always want to have something, a ring around my face. So I am one of the first to be shown on when people are on their social media. If you're active, you're going to be on their like top line. If you're not active, they won't ever see you. And it can be stuff as silly as a quote or there should not be a passcode. I don't think so. Did anyone have to put in a password? Silly as a quote or what you're eating, or I do a lot of stuff like what my kids are doing. But the biggest thing, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on, and I'm actually going to be training about this at live or at launch in 2 weeks, is my I'll call them my live stories. So keep your story live, but also go live on it. Show your face. You don't have to use a filter. You can if you want to, if that's going to ease you into it. And talk. Whether you're doing something or you're just talking and say, I don't know. My go-to is I make a smoothie quite often in the mornings because one, I can kind of show off my product. Sometimes I talk about the product. Most times I'm just using my product and I'm talking about life. Sometimes it's maybe a minute of my face saying, oh my gosh, look at this, or it's so beautiful outside. And you flip the camera and you show the day or your kids or whatever it might be. Trying to think of what else. So keeping your story live and actually showing your face because people want to know. People, you've heard this a million times, people buy from people. People relate to people. So if they can get to know you a little bit, see your face, hear your voice, and they can kind of relate to you a little bit more rather than just pictures of things, just quotes. I know I said to do those to keep your story active, but if you can sneak in yourself a little bit in between, I think that's very powerful. Again, this is all building on social. That's what most people do these days because it's the day we live in and because of COVID. So unless you're going and knocking on doors and dialing up people on the phone all the time, you have to post on social media. And I know there's a big thing about attraction marketing, and there is a level where that's great. There's a good, I want to say it, we need a healthy balance because I don't want anybody to go out and just do a big old blob post. This would be a don't do post. My name's Mickey. Obviously, that's silly. People can say my name. I am with Bravenly Global, and we're launching in 2 weeks. And we have a green drink, and we have a gold, and we have a all the products, and it's so much fun. And my CEO is Espen Emery, and blah 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 blah. That's just too much. You want to leave a little bit of curiosity, but if you're not posting that you are using these products, if you're not posting that you have an incredible opportunity on your hand, if you're not posting that this is only ground floor one time and that this pre-launch stage is over in 2 weeks, if you're not posting that our founding partner program is done at the end of the month, then people don't know. So as much as you kind of like sneak things in every now and again, we have to be loud about it or people aren't going to know. especially because we aren't cold messengers. So if you're not talking to people about it, like I said, on the phone, in their messenger, they don't know. And it's our job to share that. So like I said, there's a healthy balance between the attraction marketing part of it and just vomiting brazenly all over your Facebook, and we don't want that. So pick a happy medium, but don't be afraid to be loud and be proud about it. I will say less is more. If you do a post, just do little tidbits here and there throughout the week and let people kind of put your story together, because big long posts, I mean, I did a big long post today. It didn't really have anything to do with Bravenly, just about believing in yourself, I guess, and having big dreams. But people don't want to read big posts. If you're scrolling through Facebook, something that's this long, you don't want to spend 5 minutes reading. You're going to keep scrolling. So think about that when you're doing your posts too. Keep it short. And then that kind of transitions to, once people see your post, they might reach out to you and say, hey, what are you doing? But that's rare. So if they like your post, I would reach out and say, hey, thanks for loving on my post. Thanks for your support. It means the world. I don't know if you would have any interest, but I would just love to share a little bit of my heart if you're open to it. If they are, great. If not, oh well, keep moving on. But if you don't make that ask, they're just going to keep watching and watching and watching and being too afraid to ask you for more information. Because it's rare that people reach out. So that brings me to bold asks, making the ask. Even if it's not somebody that liked your post, but it's just somebody that you've had on your mind that you would love to do this business with, you've got to be bold and make the ask. And there are good ways to ask. There are some scripts and albums on Bravenly Nation, but I will say a lot of times I still reach out to Nikki, give her a little backstory, send her a screenshot and say, Nikki, how would you bring this up? Or how would you? And she always says, I would just be honest and say blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, easy enough. But I get in my own head sometimes because I don't want them to say no, or I don't want them to think badly of me, or I don't want, whatever. But if you're just being honest and speaking from the heart and thinking about them and why this is a great opportunity or these products will benefit them, there's nothing to be afraid of. And if they say no, that's on them, not on you. But I always go back to how selfish am I for not offering it to them? Let them tell me no, I can take a no. But if I don't offer it to them, and then they either come back and say, why didn't you ever ask me? Am I not good enough? Or they go sign up with somebody else on a different team, that's on me. And that's going to hurt more than a no. Along in that same line, follow-ups. If people don't specifically say, no, I'm not interested, you've got to follow up. That's something I used to be really bad at. I figured, well, if they were interested, they'd reach back out. It's not top of their mind like it is for us. It goes to the back burner. So we've got to follow up weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly, whatever it is. Or if they say, like I had one girl, this is a good example. I had somebody a few weeks ago, at least, I said, it wasn't a cold message because she's built with me in a company before and we are somewhat kind of related. And I just said, hey, I'm not sure if you've seen what I'm up to, but I'm helping launch a brand new company. I know we've built together before. I think it would be amazing if we did it again. If you've got time to listen to my heart, I would love to share more, whatever. She didn't respond to me. A couple weeks later, I reached back out, said, hey, I hope my message didn't offend you. I was just super excited. This is just an incredible opportunity I couldn't not ask you about. That was it. Just 3 days ago, she reached back out and she said, hey, nope, didn't offend me at all. I'm so sorry I didn't respond. I would love to hear more. I've been busy working and packing. We're about to head on vacation, but as soon as I get back, I'd love to hear more. Okay. If I never sent that hope I didn't offend you message, she never would have heard about it. So now she specifically said I'm going on vacation. So I dug a little deeper, where are you going? What are you guys up to? I didn't want to just be like rude and say, okay, well, when are you going to be back? Like build that relationship a little bit, find out a little bit more about them, talk about that vacation. And then she ended up saying, we're going to go here. We're doing Disney for a day. Then we're going to Kissimmee. for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. That sounds like about the time that I'm going to get back from my vacation, or about the time I'm going on my vacation. So we'll catch up after I get back. Okay, perfect. Well, we happen to be launching a company in that time zone. So I can just say with excitement, oh my gosh, you won't believe what we came out with, or all this new stuff, or these announcements, and we're officially launched. So following up is huge. Part of that comes with organization. If somebody tells you, not right now, or I'm busy, or they just don't respond, you've got to put it on your calendar or make a note somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to fall through the cracks. I've got so much to say. I'm like losing my voice because I just keep talking and talking and talking. When you are talking to somebody and they're asking questions, I take a breath. You're going to be excited. You want them to know all the information, and you are happy to tell them because you're excited that someone's interested finally. But take it slow. Ashley Walmer always says, a confused mind says no. So give them little bits at a time and let them ask questions, because less is more. And when they're asking questions, they're going to feel like they're more in control. If they stop asking questions and the conversation's going nowhere, then you can start asking questions and give them a little bit more, ask if they can get on the phone or whatever. As I say that, whatever, that's another tip. Send screenshots. I had a hard time for the longest time because I was afraid if I send this screenshot to Nikki, what's she going to think? She's going to laugh at how I worded that, but that's not it at all. If anything, she said, well, I might have worded that a little different. Maybe next time this comes up, try saying it this way, or try asking this. And then she gives me her feedback. But if I didn't swallow my pride and get over myself and just send the dang screenshots, I never would have learned those things. So don't be afraid to send screenshots to your upline. Messaging, less is more. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's about it. Plugging in, being bold. Oh, and when you are posting on social media, like I said, you gotta be kind of loud, not vomiting loud, but a little bit loud about what we have our hands on. But you also have to share your story. Tammy Evans once said, basically the key to success is knowing your story and sharing it over and over and over again in different ways. Part of that means being vulnerable, because that's how people connect with you. When you share a little bit of your heart, that's not airing your dirty laundry on social media. Don't do that. But when you can share a little bit of your heart at a time, you're going to draw people in, and they're going to connect with you a little bit more every time you share a little bit of you. Okay. So I do it too. If I see a great post somebody posted about Bravenly, I copy it, make it my own, and reshare it. That's okay. Do that. Don't copy and paste somebody's post, because then it just messes up the whole algorithm. But if we only do that and are copying from other people's, we're not sharing us. We're sharing Tammy, and we're sharing Mickey, and we're sharing Becky, and we're sharing April. So you've got to bring in and be a little bit vulnerable and sharing yourself out there too. Like I said, that's a fine line too. Don't air your dirty laundry, but just share a little piece of your heart every now and again so people can get to know you and they want to be a part of you and what you have to offer. Any questions? Okay. The big thing, like I said, a lot of it is up here, belief in knowing that you deserve what you want. You want VP, you have to believe that you deserve to be VP. You just want to hit executive brand partner, you have to believe that you deserve it and you're worthy of that. Because if you get in your head by telling yourself all the time, I've never had success before, I've never had success in this industry, you've got to get that out of your head, or you're not going to have success in this one either. But if you tell yourself and remind yourself every day, I'm worthy, I deserve it, I can do it, then you will. And that was a hard thing for me to learn. But once I did, it made all the difference in the world. Oh, Michelle, you're too sweet. Okay. If you have questions, unmute or throw it in the chat. I'll hang out for another minute, but I didn't want to keep you guys too late on this call. Just wanted to share the goods. Okay, Ashley started on prompts to share your, yes, that was a good one. That's in a file in Bravenly Nation. That is a perfect way to, yes, examples and ideas on how to share your story and your why throughout social media. Good idea, Becky. Anything else? Questions, comments, tips?
I will say, I know that we've talked about it before, but definitely the following up with people that are maybe haven't responded to something, that asking them if they're offended works every single time. I don't know why, because people feel bad that maybe you think that, but I don't think I've ever sent that and then someone didn't, and they usually respond right away. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I saw it, but I fell asleep or I was in the middle of something or whatever. So just, say something like that. It works, I promise, every time. And at least it gets the conversation back open, even if it's a no or whatever, at least you're having conversation. So that works every time.
Absolutely. And I think too, I mean, everyone on here can probably say at one point or another, they're guilty of reading a message and forgetting to respond, and then it goes unanswered. That's the majority of the time. That's what this is. I think we get in our own heads by saying they're not interested, they're ignoring me. Realistically, it's probably because they opened it and they're in the middle of something and forgot to get back to you. And like I said before, it's not on the forefront of their mind like it is ours. So we have to follow up, and it's really not a big deal. Again, it goes back to your mindset. And if you approach every conversation and every friend request as this person's going to be on my team and they're going to be a rock star and they're going to say yes and they're going to just excel and it's going to be amazing, I think you'll get a lot further than if you approach every situation and say, well, they're probably going to say no, but I'm going to ask anyway. So again, it's all in here. And that, like I said at the very beginning, personal development books are a good place to start to try to flip that mindset. But anyway. All right. Anything else? This was recorded, so I will get the YouTube link out so you guys can rewatch it if you want to. If you got on late, you can watch the beginning and then we can share it with the people that weren't able to get on. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to end it. And I will see all of you ladies later.
Thanks, Becky.
Daisy, did you have a question? Okay. Okay, perfect. I was going to say, shoot me a message if you do. No worries. Okay, talk to you guys later.
Bye.